What would you do if you knew that today was your very last day on earth? What would you do if this was the very last 24 hours of your life? How would you approach the things that you had to do? My advice to young folks when I speak to them is to think of each day as though it were their last. If today was the last day ever that you had to live, if this was your last chance to create an impression, if this was your last chance to embark on a task, if this was your last chance to do a job, how would you do it? My advice is to think of each day as your very last. Do not think about tomorrow. Don't think about the days gone by. Think about today as one blank check given to you. What would you do? How would you approach it? What attitude, what mannerism would you have? How much effort would you put in to achieve that goal and that dream which you had? My friend, I have found that successful people, they learn to focus on the day before them. They desire to live each day to their very best. If you, my friend, want to see the kind of success that is beyond the usual and the common amongst men, you must be willing. You, my friend, must be ready to give it your all. If this day was your very last day, how would you live it? I think the wise thing to do would be to make it count. You would not just want to count the day and count the hours. You want to make every second of that day count. You would want to make sure that at the end of that day, which would be the end of your life, that you can say, I did my very best. How much, my friend, are you putting into this day? I don't know what time of the day you'll be listening to this, but imagine if you were to make up your mind and say, I'm going to make this day count. I'm going to make this day count. I'm going to live this day as my very best. You wake up this morning knowing that now you have just 24 hours. If you had to sleep, how many hours would you sleep knowing you have just 24 hours to live? Would you be even able to afford to sleep, or would you rather, knowing that you are going to sleep for a very long time, because at that moment when the 24-hour mark ends, you'll be sleeping for a long time? Would you still want to sleep, or would you want to make every second count? When you become conscious of every second and every minute of your day, knowing that you must make it count, you, my friend, begin to live differently. You cut down on the excesses. You cut down on the wastage of time. You do not involve yourself with things that you have no business concerning yourself with, because for you, in your conscious and in your subconscious, you have just 24 hours to live, my friend. Some of the things you allow to bother you, some of the things you bother yourself with, they are only because you are not fully accountable. You do not realize the gift of 24 hours. And so you think too much about things you need not think about. You're stuck in the past. For some of you, you keep thinking about the past when you have a gift of 24 hours right there before you. What are the things you would do if you knew that you had just 24 hours? If you knew that you would not have it tomorrow? You must get beyond this consciousness of tomorrow. I tell folks, I say tomorrow never comes. Leave tomorrow alone and stay focused on today. This day was your last 24 hours. What would you do, my friend? That's the question you should think about today. Think about that in everything you're doing. In those contracts, in those deals that you need to seal. If there was not going to be another tomorrow, if there was not going to be another day, how would you approach that business? How would you speak to that client? How would you do that exercise? How would you do things? The essence of thinking of the day as the very last is because it helps you to stay focused in maximizing your potentials and everything that you can do in that particular day. My friend, enough with thinking like everyone else. Stand out, my friend. Make your day count and not just count the days. Remember, as you do so, you, my friend, will stay motivated.